Hello and welcome to Tech Latest by Nikkei Asia, where we bring you the freshest updates from the technology sector in Asia. Every episode, one of our reporters from the region will be filling us in on the tech news on their radar, from semiconductors in China to space travel in Japan to startups in Indonesia. From Nikkei Asia's Tokyo headquarters, I'm Alice French. In this episode, my colleague Jada Nagumo catches up with Cissy Zhou, our senior business news correspondent in Hong Kong, about how Tokyo is on its way to becoming Asia's new data center hub.
Hi, Cissy. Thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Hi, Jada. Thank you for having me today.
There's a lot I'd like to talk with you about. China is a leader in many fields of today's tech industry, but I've heard it is faced with some stiff competition when it comes to data processing. Is that right?
So we published a data watch piece called Tokyo Challenges Beijing as Asia's Data Center Hub. We found out that Beijing currently ranks #1 in the data center race in terms of capacity, followed by Singapore and Japan. But if we look at the data centers that are already under construction or already planned, Tokyo will surpass Singapore soon and advance towards Beijing within the next 3 to 5 years. It's also worth noting that although Beijing is, currently leading in the data center capacity, China's position as Asia's premier data hub is weakening. Actually, there's a lot of construction projects in Beijing and Shanghai actually got filled in the past few years due to China's strict COVID lockdowns.
I see. Well, what's causing Tokyo's data center bonanza, and where exactly are these new centers based?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, there are several reasons contributing to the data center boom in Japan, including the digital transformation of Japanese enterprises, the increase in staff working from home, particularly after COVID, and concerns from certain foreign businesses about using Chinese data centers. More Japanese companies, they are moving servers closer to home to speed up the data transfer and reduce the risk of data leaks. And to your question about the locations, many data centers they are in and around Tokyo, including the Tama district, which is about 30 kilometers away from Tokyo, and Inzai in Chiba Prefecture, which is about 80 kilometers away from Tokyo. Chiba hosts numerous facilities used by big tech companies like Google and Amazon at this stage. Those companies, they are eager to take advantage of Inzai's proximity to Tokyo, as well as the area's low risk of natural disasters. I also want to share with you a set of interesting data, which is about capacity of data centers in Greater Tokyo totaled 865 megawatts at the end of 2022. That is half of Beijing's, but the capacity in Tokyo could reach around 2,000 megawatts in 3 to 5 years. And by then, that will be very close to Beijing's.
I see. And you mentioned concerns about China, but are U.S.-China tensions playing any part in this?
Yes, let me elaborate a bit. Tensions between the U.S. and China have continued to escalate in recent years, ranging from trade, geopolitics, privacy, and data security. We already have governments around the world. They have already restricted government employees from using TikTok on state devices, right? Because, there's a concern that the data gathered by TikTok could be used by the CCP because TikTok's parent company is ByteDance, and that is a Chinese company. TikTok is accused of posing a national security threat. Against this backdrop, some of the international companies have concerns about using data centers in China or Chinese data centers. That's also quite interesting. A professor from the University of Tokyo, he told our reporter that the concern about the China risk has increased Japan's relative importance as a reliable gateway to Asia. Japan can serve as an ideal relay station for Meta, Google, and other US tech companies to move their massive amounts of data because Japan sits between North America and Eurasia. And that's very good.
But being Asia's data center leader isn't without its challenges, I imagine. What sort of things will Tokyo have to keep in mind if it wants to maintain its success in this field going forward?
Yeah, there are a few challenges, of course. One of the biggest challenges for Tokyo is the cost of operating data centers, because data centers, they consume a lot of power, and electricity in Tokyo is actually 2 to 3 times more expensive than in mainland China. And the cost is a big challenge because Singapore previously lost a bid to host data centers to Malaysia and Thailand due to higher power and land prices. Or maybe Japan can learn a lesson from that. Experts, think Japan might have to promote wider, more efficient use of renewable energy.
Thanks, Cissy. Are there any other stories you would like to recommend to our readers this week?
Yes, Jada. So besides the data center stories, I would like to recommend, we have a few stories about AI. We had one about Google and Meta trying to applying more of the generative AI in the Asia market. And we also have one about Japan's top banks tip AI chatbots to lighten workload. Another very good story, which is about Thailand, Indonesia emerge as bigger links in EV supply chain. You can find all the stories in our website.
That's all for this episode. You can read more of Cissy's reporting, along with a host of other stories about Asia's tech industry, on Nikkei Asia's website, asia.nikkei.com. And if you like what you hear, why not subscribe to our weekly Tech Asia newsletter, which will be delivered to your inbox every Thursday. And while you're there, why not also subscribe to Nikkei Asia? We bring you the Asian business, politics, economy, and tech stories others miss. Check the show notes for a link to sign up. And listen again next time for more updates on the tech trends that matter.